Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. All right, we're going to start off a little bit different today. Start off on a somber note. We lost the driver out of local 657, possibly due to the heat.
Yeah.
Okay, he was 37 years old, Louis Grimaldo, and 37 years old, young. And we don't know all the facts yet, but everyone, we're reading the articles, and I've spoken to one person. They're saying it's the heat.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't want to say 100%, but it's a good chance, and we just want to send condolences to his family. I mean, it's one is too many, and it's been more than that. It's been a lot more than that. So, you know, zero should be the acceptable loss.
And
So,
speaking
yeah,
of one being too many,
yeah,
we had another very close call up in the McKinney Center in our local this week. I'm sure many of
yeah.
you listening to this have seen the reports and the news, possibly even the video of we had a driver that was complaining about the heat, called in, told the supervisor that he was struggling, and they uh they asked him if he was okay to drive, and he said yes, and he drove on his way back, and he passed out behind the wheel on a highway, and ended up crossing across the opposing lane of traffic and into a tree on the other side of the highway. Um,
Wow.
could have
Yeah,
been much worse than it was, obviously. He was
yeah,
pretty banged up. He spent a night in the hospital, but he was released on Saturday. But I mean, just not to sound like a broken record, but it is
yeah,
a it is a problem in my center specifically, but it is
yeah.
obviously a problem across the nation as well, because we're still losing people. As Jeff said, what's the acceptable loss? And
Yeah.
it should be zero. Um, I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope that this driver gets better and is able to come back to work.
Absolutely.
The driver was 21 years old, young guy. So
Okay.
I do hope that he recovers fully and gets back to work. And I hope that the company learns a lesson, though I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, and I just, I do want to say something though. I just, you see people, posting different things, and one thing that's really just has pissed me off is how are we trying to shame the driver? How are
Yeah.
we trying to put it on the driver? Like, you know, I guess what people are not understanding is you go through this, you're not thinking straight.
No.
Okay. So let's not blame it. Oh, we could have done that. Well, we know we could have. He could have. Well, what if he's not thinking straight? We don't know. We weren't there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So I just wish people would err on the side of caution and just keep those types of comments to themselves. I mean, you know it happened. Let's not blame the driver.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not put it there. Okay. We don't know what was going on, but
The company has protocols for this that are in the
yep.
contract. Like, if that communication was made and they didn't say, well, we'll come get you, or we'll call EMS or whatever, then that's the company making a mistake as far as I'm concerned, because the person sitting in the air conditioning all day should be the one making that call, not the one that's been in the 100-degree heat going in and out of the 150-degree cargo area of a metal box all day.
So he called the supervisor
Yes. That's
and
from the
he said he was
supervisor's
having.
mouth.
Hmm?
That's from the supervisor's mouth. They
So
told
he
us
said he
that.
called him and
Yeah.
he didn't think to pay attention, the supervisor, really, with things going on. I
I
mean,
wasn't there.
that's no, hey,
Yeah.
exactly. We weren't there, but you know, they have a bad track record, right?
Yeah.
We'll just say that.
I
We'll
have
just
it.
say that.
I have it on good authority that our our division manager is encouraging the supervisors not to call EMS as well. So, but we'll cross that bridge next week when we come to it.
Yep. 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 So so what we really want to talk about is maintenance of standards.
Yes.
Okay. And it's kind of, what we were, we're getting at. I mean, the first thing is, the big thing was the maps, right?
Yeah.
They got rid of the maps part.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Now,
throwing a kink in a lot of
and
people's days.
yeah, and what's happened? What did you say happened? What did you say your
Oh,
division manager said?
our division manager told us, told several of the stewards, we were having a conversation about it this week. He said that obviously the trace has gone up because, that's what people are doing. They're following the trace, but the mileage and the paid days have both gone up as well since they
Oh,
took the maps out.
which what? That means they're on the truck longer in the heat,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So everything, it crisscrosses. I mean, and
Yes.
and I don't know the reason why they did it. It's probably cost cutting, right? I mean, I don't know, but it's just, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's coming from the division manager's mouth. Yeah, everyone's out there later. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems, you
Especially
know?
this time of year.
Yeah.
Problem
And
any time
we
of the
said,
year, but especially in the summer.
and it talks about, your work day and your, overtime hours and whatnot and the maintenance of standards, and it shouldn't diminish. And well, I mean, it's diminishing.
Yeah.
That's Article 50, maintenance of standards. I mean, you're taking away the maps. I mean, why? Maybe there's an angle that we can take on that. It's like they took away something, and look what it's doing.
Yeah, it's certainly an angle
Yeah.
you can take. It's a relatively small it's a relatively small article 50 for us. And though if you're outside the southern region, I don't know what your region language says, but this is specifically in our southern region language. Um
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and read it since it's pretty short.
Yeah.
The employee agrees, or the employer agrees, that all conditions of employment and the employer's individual operation relating to wages, hours of work, and overtime differentials shall be maintained at not less than the highest standards in effect at the time of the signing of this agreement. And the conditions of employment shall be improved wherever specific provisions or improvement are made elsewhere in this agreement. It is agreed that the provisions of this article shall not apply to inadvertent or bona fide errors made by the employer or the union in applying the terms and conditions of this agreement, if such error is corrected within 90 days from the date of error. However, in any case, a request or relief from error may be filed in writing with the Southern Region Area Panel Grievance Committee. The Southern Region Area Panel Grievance Committee, by majority vote, shall determine whether and in what manner such better terms and or conditions resulting from such error shall be continued or eliminated.
Yeah. And it goes on, it's not much. I mean, that's really it, but it's important. It's like, it's the same as, when the contract was signed, they were giving us bottles of water, right? And I know the
Exactly.
contract says potable water, and we're supposed to get ice anyway. But okay, so we're going to keep getting bottled water. That at the signing, we were getting bottled water,
Exactly.
right?
So that means
I
we
mean,
maintain that standard. And
yeah, and yeah,
I would
it's
argue that the map feature is a standard what is a higher standard than what we were being given now. We don't have directions. And I understand
absolutely.
there's going to be a lot of veterans out here. I didn't have maps when I started. I was working with a paper
Nope.
Mapsco and scrolling down to find which stop I wanted to go to and making sure, I was there, I did it. But you got to think a lot of these guys that just started around COVID, which has got to make up
Yeah.
a really big chunk of people in most of these centers because they did a lot of hiring those years.
Yep.
They're running around like chickens with their head cut off. It's like the sky is falling sometimes with some of these people. And they,
I know. Yeah.
whether you agree or disagree with using the maps, it is a feature that was there
Yep.
and maintained when this contract was signed,
Contract was signed.
and now it's
Yep.
gone.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
I
mean,
would
it's
make that argument. I haven't filed this grievance. I don't,
Mhm.
I don't know if it would fly, but I think it's worth pursuing for
Absolutely.
our local or some other or other locals if people wish to make those grievances, file those grievances.
You just check into it,
Yeah.
speak with the Southern Region committee, just do something, start
Yeah.
something. Maybe it's a possible angle because I mean, it's it's obviously diminishing it, right? That's
Yes.
it. It is. So I mean, I just I don't know. I don't know. Just so many things, but these are one of the things you got to push,
Yeah.
and that's what we're looking to do. And I mean, it's everything revolves around safety, right?
Yes. It
And
should.
again,
It should follow
it
revolve around
should, it
safety.
should, it should, right?
Yeah.
And everything, staying on the truck longer because the maps are gone, and it's absolutely nuts. And I don't know the reason why they got rid of it. I don't care. They got rid of it, and it's made things worse.
Yeah.
So
For a lot of people.
yeah, so yeah, it has, and uh again, I just want to say again that we losing another member is just it's ridiculous, something that shouldn't have happened, something that was avoidable. And condolences to his family.
Yeah.
And prayers to that driver who got into that accident.
Yeah.
So we just
Before
we
we
gotta
go, I want to hit
yeah.
up on just everybody that's listening to this. Just please, keep this in mind when you're out there in the heat. Here in North Texas, the high is supposed to be 106 tomorrow.
Yep.
Yep. If you're struggling, I'm not telling you not to communicate with your management team. You absolutely should, but err on the side of caution. Don't say I'll be okay to drive back to the building. Say no. I need to go and seek shelter. I need to go to a cool zone. You need to call an ambulance. And if you're not going to, I'm going to call one for myself. And, if they give you lip, if they give you anything, hang up the phone and dial 911 yourself.
Yeah, that's you don't need that extra stress. And
no,
like Garfield was saying, it's very important. You go to your cool zone, okay? Yeah. If you feel like there's even a slight chance that okay, hey, we're I don't know what could happen on the way back, or driving here, driving there. Like you said, err on the side of caution, get in your cool zone. That's it. Because like what happened, anything could happen at any given point. So all of our brothers and sisters out there, be safe, and we will see you soon. Bye. Bye.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the Southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.